Get them new slides for us. Says medical researchers wonder what percentage of people who have surgery from broken bones would be helped with pain relief by acupuncture. At his local hospital, this research finds the last 10 patients who have had broken legs asked them to participate in the study. 40% of them say that acupuncture has helped them. All right, driving needles into different parts of your body to subside the pain, huh? All right, so who's our population of interest? Are we interested in everybody? Or are we interested in another group of people? Yeah, so people that with surgery or something like that. People getting surgery. Okay, that's pretty simple. Identify the sample. Well, the sample would be these 10 patients. Was this an appropriate random sample? No. People asked for it. So it's not random. And is there going to be some bias to this story? Okay, so bias comes in a lot of different ways. And I'd say, yes, there is bias to this. Okay. Few things to think about. They said, at his local hospital, this researcher finds the last 10 patients who have had broken legs and asked them to participate in the study. So it's like, hey, you got a broken leg. You got something for the pain? Well, I can give you the shot, or I can put this little tiny pinprick into this part of your body and you won't feel pain. Okay, you can give me a needle that's going to make me feel drowsy, or you can put a pinprick. Yep, we can do a pinprick. So bias. Okay. People chose this. They are at only one hospital. Things like that. And then is this study likely to suffer from excessive sampling variability? All right, so variability. I'm going to scroll back to the page on this. It says, of course, random samples produce variability. One, was this a random sample? No. Okay. No two samples will be alike, and no two samples will produce identical outcomes. If we conduct the survey to see if people favor, in this case, raising taxes. So the variability in this definitely does take place. We have a better word on variability there. Okay, so the thing is, this falls under invariability. It kind of falls under the Hawthorne effect. Whoa, dude. Let's get closer. Get closer. What did I do wrong? That's kind of wild. Proud of you guys. Some of you are looking forward to looking at the board. So, hey, what was the Hawthorne effect? Yeah, they're acting differently when they're being watched. Okay? So, if these people are totally being monitored at this hospital, you know, that patient might act a little differently. You might get the person who comes in going, are you sure you're not feeling better? Connection failed. This is bad. I don't know why I broke. Okay, I will do this pin. 174444163. Connect. Maybe this will work. I don't know. Till it wigs out on us again, huh? Wow. Don't know what we're doing here. Oh, hi. We started class. Started without you this time. Sorry about that. Well, there's a little thing called testing taking place that they wanted us to have it all in rows. So I could have done it after school, or I could have done it today. Cancel. All right. Says, so definite variability takes place. The Hawthorne effect could take place here because they're being monitored. They're not really a random sample. Describe our population parameter. Okay. So our population parameter. That has to be the 40%. Okay. So it says that 40 of them said they will take that acupuncture helped them. Okay, they dealt with 10. So 40% is we think that 40% of people will be helped by having this done or acupuncture done. Identify the sample statistic. The sample statistic in this case is obviously going to still be the 40%. So the parameter and the sample statistic will be the same. And then number 8, we are attempting to use the sample statistic to estimate the population parameter. Rewrite the idea with context in this question. So something like, we feel 40% of people with acupuncture get pain reduced, or something like that. That's not too bad, is it? All right. The next one down says 3 different psychologists studied the amount of time people spend on social media sites. They have different sampling methods. They each collect 10 random samples. Okay, there's the key, 10 random samples. And the results for each random sample are shown below. So you have the calculated mean for each one. So Dr. Doolittle had the 125, 130, etc. Dr. Seuss had 115, 129, etc. Dr. Who had 125 or 124, 125. So then they say, let's assume that the true average of time spent on social media sites is 125 minutes. These guys are amateurs. There's only 125 minutes. You guys have already spent that just this morning. Which doctor had biased sampling method? Okay, so they're saying 125.
I could probably be Doctor Who.
Well, Doctor Who, so they're showing 125. So Doctor Who is right around 125 pretty closely.
Yeah.
Looks like Dr. Seuss, I mean, he has some down as low as 110, some as high as 144. So I would say Dr. Seuss, just by looking at it. Dr. Seuss, because he has scores of, he's got 110, but then he has 144s. He's got 111 in there. He's got another 140 or 142. So he has some some that are really kind of this to the right or to the left of the sample statistic.
Wouldn't that be the answer to number 10 then?
Which doctor is highly variable? They're biased. Okay. So bias versus sampling. All right, so let's just take a quick look. Bias, a systematic tendency of sampling method to over or under predict the population parameter. So I think the bias definitely falls in on that one. And then which one is variable? I think this is going to be the same.
Also,
It's not still Seuss. And which doctor appeared to have neither bias or too much variability?
that'd be right.
Let's see who. So they're saying what, 125? So 120. The one that is closest to 125. So I think Doctor Who. And everything is close to 125. Cool. That was easy. Just had to figure out the definitions. On the backside, it says an automotive engineer is testing a new kind of gasoline additive to see if it improves the gas mileage of Ford vehicles. Well, there's the problem. Ford vehicles, you know what Ford stands for? Found on road dead. Fix or repair daily. Right? You guys have all seen these types of things. You can put an additive in at the gas pump at certain places, and it's like, hey, for an extra $11, you can put this in. Okay. And then it's like, no, it really makes my car work better. Okay. Maybe change your fuel filter and your oil filter a little bit more than 100,000 miles, and it'd probably do the same thing. They randomly select randomly select 50 Ford vehicles that have the local shopping mall and ask the owners if they can test the product on their vehicles. The mean mileage of these 50 vehicles was 27.3 miles per gallon. Okay, so who is our population of interest?
Ford owners.
Yeah, Ford owners. 13, identify the sample. 50 random Ford owners. Number 14, was this an appropriate random sample? Okay, let's see. It says they randomly select 50 Ford vehicles. That's great. But they see them at a local shopping mall. So this, it does say random, but they were at a local mall to do the sample. So you have one isolated location. Chances are those 50 people that you randomly sampled lived within, say, 10 miles of the mall. I mean, people don't drive here from, Mississippi to go to a mall here in Colorado. So I would say definitely if you are looking at that, you might be able to say, well, it's Carson, Colorado. If you're doing it out in an area that is known for a lot of dust and wind, that might be, versus where it might not have dust and wind in another location. So it's kind of hard to say that this would actually be a good study based on, yes, you had 50 random people. This is a good number of Ford owners. Unfortunately, because you're in one localized location, that's going to be bad. All right. Does this suffer from bias? Okay, so again, bias, the systematic tendency of sampling methods to over or under predict. So yes, I'm going to say there's bias that does take place because a local mall is used to select. Let's face it, not everyone goes to the mall, correct? Maybe people who go to the mall really drive aggressively in their cars. Maybe people who go to the mall don't drive aggressively. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Who knows? And then Number 16, is the study likely to suffer from excessive variability? So if you look back at variability, what it said, random samples produce variability. No two samples will be alike, and no two samples will produce identical outcomes. So variability might produce different results at malls all around the country. Okay. And 17, population parameter. It looks like 27.3 is our parameter. We had nothing to compare it to, so we just think all cars are going to get 27.3 miles per gallon. And then number 18, sample statistic. I think there's sample statistic. You could probably say that the 50 random at 27.3 miles per gallon. Per gallon, not per hour. And then we are attempting to use the sample statistic to estimate the population parameter. Rewrite this idea within the context of the problem. So will fuel additive help miles per gallon on Fords? That's straightforward enough. All right. Now what? So let's assume we are going to randomly select 100 students from Cherry Creek High School to participate in the survey. Oh, I like this. I hope everyone has an equal chance of being picked. Discuss whether the sampling method will create a representative sample. Okay, well, it would be representative if you were dealing with just students at Cherry Creek High School, but if you were just randomly selecting people at Cherry Creek High School, then to apply it, though we are the coolest high school, I would say that there's other high schools that doesn't want to look at it saying, hey, we randomly selected these people from Cherry Creek High School, and you're sitting over at Grandview going, we don't like them. Or you're over at Valor saying, we don't like them. Okay, though I know you might have friends. All right. The name of every Creek student is put into a hat. 100 of them are chosen. All right, so discuss whether the sampling method would create representative sample. Okay. 100 names pulled from a hat. Okay. So this seems like a really ideal way, unless Chris Stirrup gets involved. Again, every year at our end of the year banquet, I've told you this before, when you show up to the banquet, you take your little name tag and you go put it in this little box, and they act like they're shuffling them around. I take my little thing. If you ever want to win at some raffle and you're able to put your hands on what's going into the raffle bin, crumble it up and then unfold it so it's all wavy. Because the person who's reaching in there going, oh, and Chris Stirrup, he just won the 4-pack to Cherry Hills Country Club to golf. And everyone's like, how does he keep winning? I kid you not. Every year I win. I mean, since my 11 years here at Creek, I have probably won $10,000 worth of stuff.
Wow.
Because I crumple up the paper and I put it in the bin. So it's literally like this. So we walk in. Now let's say everyone's name, like my name is on this sheet of paper, but everyone gets the same sheet of paper. Well, everyone just puts the sheet of paper in like this. I do this. And I unfold it. And I unfold it. Now my piece of paper is going in like this. So the person's reaching in the bin, my paper pulls. I cheat the system. That's what happens when I understand statistics. Kid you not, friends, if you ever have to put your name in a hat to be drawn for prizes, if your hands get on that piece of paper, crumple it up, unfold it, then it's same piece of paper, it's just you have different ridges on it, which the person is reaching in. Oh, I found it. Last year I won Spencer. What's the golf course at the BMW
Castle Pines.
Castle Pines? That was last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a 4-pack to golf there. Is that a pretty good place to golf?
Yeah. Extremely.
Okay. Yeah, 4-pack with cart with lunch. How much do you think that would cost? I have no idea.
I mean, you can't really put a price on that because it's like invitation only. I mean, it's practically impossible to play there.
Let me ask you this. How much do you think somebody would pay for that? Like someone who's an avid golfer who has money.
Probably $20,000.
Really?
I pay $10,000 to play there. Easy.
God, I gave that. I'm not a golfer, so I gave it to Padovic, and he invited Lefebvre, Peterson, and Mr. Barrett, and they all went golfing. Like, stirrup, thanks.
Should have sold that.
Guess I could have. Now I started taking golf lessons, and so they're like, said to me, now that you're taking golf lesson, who's going to be the odd man out? So I don't know. Depends who brings me the quickest Bud Light right now. And Mr. Lefebvre goes running out the door. I'm like, I'm just kidding.
Sounds like Lefebvre.
Yeah, he never brought that beverage here, which was good. All right, we randomly select 25 freshmen, 25 sophomores, 25 juniors, 25 seniors from 4 different hats containing all the names of Cherry Creek students at a time. So I got 25, so I got freshmen, sophomore, junior, and seniors. And then they happen to be in 4 hats. So I don't know if all the freshmen are in one hat, all the sophomores in another hat. And then what do you do with the super senior, the guy who's been here for the 11th year? I don't know.
Would 20 be yes or no?
100 names pulled out of the hat, chosen randomly. I think this is yes. It would be good, and I'm going to put yes as a disclaimer, as long as we are only comparing CCHS students. Okay. Then 25 freshmen, 25 sophomores, 25 juniors, 25 seniors from 4 different hats. Okay, this seems really good. This is good. Not God, good. As long as equal number of students in each grade. Okay, meaning there should be 1,000 freshmen, 1,000 sophomores, 1,000 juniors, 1,000 seniors. As soon as that starts deviating, that means that somebody in one of those classes, so let's say, just arbitrarily, let's say that we have 900 freshmen, boo, and let's say we have 855 sophomores, let's say we have 930 juniors, and there's 937 seniors, okay? Somebody in the junior class has a better chance of being picked because there's a less amount to pick from. I mean, you have a 25 out of 155 chance of being picked versus seniors, you would have a 25 out of 937 chance of being picked. So if they said, hey, we're going to put all the let's say this is for that 4-pack of golf that I was just talking about, and they're going to pick 25 people from each class. I would re-register at Creek to be a sophomore because you have a better chance of being picked. Okay? 22, ask students sitting in Creek's cafe during 5th period. This is bad. Okay? Not everyone has 5th period off. And not everyone goes to Creek Cafe. Okay? Wouldn't you be frustrated if you found out you're at lunch and you're like, some kid's bragging in your next class going, yeah, he's the only kid that goes to the cafe at the senior class. It's like, I just won this golf outing. How'd you win that? They would just pull names out of a hat that were in the cafe. Well, that's not fair. 1, no one was told about it. 2, not everyone's in that cafe at 5th period. And 23. From an alphabetized list, selecting the 38th name. Okay. Select every 38th student on alpha list. This is bad too. This is not random. Okay? So you might be very frustrated if you are the student whose last name is like AAE of your first 3 letters of your name. You're like, you automatically know you're out. So that's what we got. What's up, bub? No, for me? I didn't get anything for you. I have this kid. Cool. I'll see you, brother.
It's not random. It's not good.
All right. That's all I have for today. I'll teach the next section. So, hey, let me ask you this, because I don't know. What happens if the senior ditch day is an actual snow day? Is there talks of what you guys do? Do you just take Monday off then for your ditch day?
Yeah.
I mean, is that what the